Minuten, Herr Kollege McAllister.
Mr. President, dear Madam President, Minister, ladies and gentlemen, since we adopted our previous report on the implementation of the Common Foreign and Security Policy on the 18th of January last year, the world has changed significantly. While Mr. Putin is relentless in his war of aggression against Ukraine, the horrid terrorist attacks launched by Hamas against Israel on the 7th of October have set the Middle East on fire. In our external action, we need to adapt to these new circumstances. For too long, the European Union has been too cautious. We have not proactively defined and defended our interests in the world. This needs to change. I would like to fully underline what our Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has said this morning in this plenary. And it was actually our Commission President Ursula von der Leyen who recognized this already back in 2019 when she spoke of a geopolitical commission and a European Union that needs to understand the language of power. Listening carefully to all the contributions this morning, one thing is obvious. One logical conclusion can only be a strong defense portfolio. But what actually does that mean concretely? Yes, I would like to see a Commissioner for Security and Defense in the next European Commission. She, or perhaps he, should coordinate all EU and Member States' defense initiatives and ensure that we are stronger by acting together. Yes, I would want to see EU Member States to procure their defense products jointly, to improve the interoperability of our armed forces and to reduce the costs for taxpayers. The EU Defence Industry Reinforcement Act, EDIRPA, was an important starting point, but it is far from enough. Yes, we must help the European defence industry to increase its production capacity to ensure that our armed forces are fully equipped. We must provide Ukraine with whatever it takes to win this war as long as it takes. Also in that regard, we made a first step with the Act in support of ammunition production, but we urgently, colleagues, need to go further with the future European Defence Investment Programme and by establishing a well-funded Ukraine Assistance Fund under the European Peace Facility. Ultimately, it is about further establishing a single market for defence. The long-term goal, dear colleagues, is, of course, to develop a true European Defence Union, a fully fledged European Defence Union. All our activities need to be closely coordinated with NATO, with our transatlantic partners, the Americans, the Canadians, the British. Let us remain transatlantic and at the same time become more European. That is the way forward. And I would once again like to address our Commission President, because since 2019, dear Ursula von der Leyen, you have taken the right approach. You are strengthening Europe's global footprint and supporting the principles that inspired our own creation, development and enlargement. Since we have discussed my own report extensively in AFET, I will not refer to my own report. I would just like to thank all colleagues involved, especially the shadow rapporteurs, the involved staff members, and also the team of the High Representative Vice President for the constructive and fruitful cooperation. Since this will be the final report on the implementation of our common foreign and security policy in this legislature, hopefully the next Commission and the next High Representative are invited to use this year's CFSP report as a guide for their priorities. Thank you very much.
Vielen Dank, Herr Kollege McAllister. Es folgt für 5 Minuten Herr Kollege Mixer.